Hi everyone, the 6th video. It is Monday, the 7th of August. I did tell you on Friday I'm going to take a break over the weekend, which I did, and I think it was good. I could focus just on family and friendship time, and I believe that's something that we need to do from time to time as well. It's been a very long while, more than a year since I've done that, but I did it and it was good. I didn't make any promises to myself, and this is something that we tend to do as well. Right, I'm going to do so much this weekend, and then you don't get to half of it. And then by Sunday night, you kind of start hearing that little voice that says, hey, you're so bad, you never keep commitments to yourself and all sorts of things like that. So I just let it go this weekend, and I must admit, it worked very well. So I had a really good weekend, had lots of thinking time, and I could even share some thoughts with different people over the weekend as well. And that's something I want to share with you today. So let's just recap a little bit. The purpose of taking you along on this journey, if you want, is to see how can we create a slightly more secure future. I'm realistic enough to know that there will always be skew balls from left field that you won't be able to plan for. But I'm 100% convinced that we are able to actually create a future that is more secure than what it is, just being dependent on a job or on some corporates' whims day to day and all sorts of market changes and things like that. So yeah, that's where we're going, creating a more secure future. Currently, I'm focusing again still, getting back into the network, and I just had one of those network calls, so that's going fine. I just go through my contacts list. That's the one thing I'm doing. The other thing is I'm now putting together that YouTube channel. So the next step is to create a little banner and to create some form of branding, just so that that looks the same as the website. So that's what I'm busy with there. And then just a brief share for today. I try to keep these videos under 5 minutes so that you don't spend too much time. Just a thought. There's a complete data overwhelm, I think, that we experience every single day. So much information come from all sorts of sources, and sometimes it gets a little bit, I get that feeling of overwhelm, if you want. A simple technique or tool. There's 3 little concentric circles. If you can imagine 3 circles, a small one in the middle, and then a kind of mid-sized one, and then a larger one. The circle in the middle is all about your so-called circle of control. So that's the stuff that you really have control over. And that for me is things like, what am I going to do today? What goes on my to-do list? What do I do first? What do I do last? Because I know when I best do creative work and when I best do kind of repetitive mechanical work. So that's the circle of control, if you want. Then there's a slightly bigger circle, and that's the circle of influence, if you want. That's where you have some influence over, and that's things that maybe has got to do with your loved ones close to you, maybe to the direct family, aspects like that. So you have certain influence over that. Maybe you have a certain influence over your kids still. Maybe that's a pipe dream. But anyways, some form of influence over that. And then the larger circle, the third circle, is the circle of concern. And that's things like market changes, the weather patterns, international exchange rates, whatever happens that's completely out of our control. Sometimes these bits of data or this data stream comes so fast that some of that stuff that we're only supposed to be concerned about becomes something that's right up there in terms of my agenda, in terms of what I think about and what I try to influence, although I can really have very little influence and even less control over that kind of thing. So check your thinking out and see, what are you worried about? What keeps you awake at night? Are those things not maybe things that fall into that circle of concern, which you really don't have any control over? Rather try and focus over those things that you do have control over, the things that's literally within your grasp, within your realm of control, and focus on those things. That also tends to help me a little bit in terms of trying to figure out based on the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, what's that 20% stuff that I should be busy with that gives me the biggest bang for my buck. And it really helps me sift through that and get rid of the chaff and do that later, or just not do that, right? Dump it off the list. So I hope that helps a little bit. I'll explore further and I'll give you some more feedback tomorrow. So have a great evening.